What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pop. Shout out to my mama and my granny for helping raise me too. Please make sure y'all go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep y'all up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. Right now on the screen, you seeing 2-on-2, but we do anticipate to be at full strength tonight. We're having all the fellas in on the pod. But what is a podcast without your brethren?
Man, I come in peace. Shine Izzo, man, coming to a digital wallet near you. The Adventures of Shine is uh Adventures of Shine is on the testimonial on the way, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Coming up on NBA All Star break, just coming off the Super Bowl this past Sunday. Um, a bunch of other things to get to. But ladies and gentlemen, we want y'all to take note that the two guys who picked the New England Patriots to win the Super Bowl, they are nowhere to be found. Coincidence? I don't know. That's for y'all to decide. Um, but the two gentlemen who do know ball, knows a little bit about ball, maybe a lot of bit about ball, picked the Seattle Seahawks to win. Uh, we are before you here on this marvelous evening. But I don't feel like it took a rocket science to know that this game was the Seattle Seahawks to win. I think if the New England Patriots had found a way to win, it would have been deemed an upset. Um, but yeah, Izzo, I kick it to you. Since we don't have the two culprits to hold to the fire just yet. What was your takeaway from the Super Bowl performance?
Um that Mike McDonald is the next boy wonder genius head coach. Uh, put on a defensive masterclass, and I believe he was going into detail about the type of gap scheme that they run defensively, and it is pretty difficult. He was saying, to grasp because they are asking, he's asking the players to play multiple gaps. And if you notice, I think they had a standout for defensive rookie of the year in their second round pick this year, and Emmanuel Umuware. Just a great hybrid player, kind of like almost equivalent to a Kyle Hamilton within that Ravens system that Mike McDonald had when he was on the Ravens, when they had that historic defense that, pushed them all the way to the AFC Championship game. So he had similar players to fit that smothering style of defense, man. But I do want to give a shout out to UTSA alum Tariq Woolen, starting cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks.
He
Uh,
dub.
yeah, man, first player in program history to be dubbed the Super Bowl champion, man. So, shout out to Reek. Birds up, runners up. Dig what I'm saying,
And like you said, real quick, like a starter. This isn't like a powerhouse school coming from like your P4 or anything like that, or P5 at the time. Like this is like a mid-major where like you don't always see guys coming from like mid-major type schools to be on starting historic defenses.
Yeah, man. Fifth round pick, you know, 4'2" guy, so he got some speed on him, man, and turned out to be a Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion. So, uh, like I said, a lot of UTSA alum taking some pride in that. So definitely gonna take my little stroll around. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good moment because and I guess the reason I'm so proudful in it because I know like UTSA, our football program is fairly young. we didn't get our first football team until 2012, and Larry Croker, who was the former, national, BCS champion, with Miami back in '03. He was our first head coach, so we came a long way, man. We producing some talent, out of 210. So yeah, man, what's up, Webby?
um, I think watching the game, I think the New England Patriots they proved the quote unquote haters correct. Um, my biggest thing like last week was the fact that I feel like they had the luckiest playoff run to the Super Bowl that you could ask for. CJ Stroud, horrific game. Then Bo Nix going down, and you getting a backup starting quarterback, a backup second string quarterback who's only able to get you 7 points. I didn't think that they were battle tested in any way, shape, or form, or getting ready to go and or well being throughout the playoffs. And I think by the time you get to the Super Bowl, you want to already be battle tested and know what it feels like to get punched in the mouth, as opposed to kind of riding high on fool's gold. And we see the Seahawks; they was battle tested throughout the playoffs, getting tested going up against the Rams, and yeah, man. I mean, I think it's nothing. It can be nothing more or nothing less than the Patriots' luck ran out. Hey,
I mean, who?
you were not given 5 turnovers and a pick six. All right, let's see what y'all can do. Hey,
I
you don't have to
mean,
go up against the second string quarterback. You have to go up against the starting quarterback. Let's see what y'all could do. And we got the result.
whose fault is that? I mean, are they out here orchestrating this themselves? It ain't their fault, man. It's the way things played out. I
Hey
mean,
man, don't come on here with that Dan Orlovsky
hey,
ass
man,
shit, bro. Talking about
let me
some
finish my stuff, man. I'll let
whose
you get off
fault
whenever you're
is it?
ready.
Man, you
See
was
it,
cooking. Shut up. Don't tell me talking about something you ain't ready
man.
to
Come
get
on,
out.
dog. Let me.
Go
All right.
on.
You low key cut me off, but
Exactly. Like, come on, man.
but no, go ahead.
So y'all done teaming up? All right, bet. Like I was saying, um, at the end of the day, man, it ain't nobody's fault but that, man. I feel like this was more of a result of, like you said, he ran into a tough situation. Um, Other teams, they had no other excuses. They had no other excuses. And at the end of the day, my biggest question: who could have beat him? You think you 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 think you think going to sleep at night? You think CJ Stroud would have been able to beat that fucking defense?
We gonna
You
get to
think
CJ.
that?
We gonna get to CJ Stroud, but I
Ladies
want you
and
to sit
gentlemen,
here
this is a
and
master
fight and make a
class
case for
in
Drake May
deflecting.
because yeah, he ain't said nothing about Drake May
This
yet.
is a
So I just
master
want you
class
to
in
What about it?
I
deflecting,
just want
Let
ladies
me
and
to
hear.
gentlemen.
I just want you to explain
All
to
right.
the
Let me give you
people
about
how he
Drake
picked
May.
Look,
Let me
he
give you about
hasn't
Drake
even
May.
wait a minute. He hasn't
Let me
even
give you
cuz
about
I ain't
started
Drake
gonna
May.
lie,
yet.
I
He
don't know if
hasn't
he
even
was
started yet, and
I
he's
don't know
already
if he
saying
was
the
here.
kid. Now he's a
I don't
kid. He not Big
right, I
Draco
don't
all of
know
a sudden.
I don't know if he was here
All
for
right, man. I'll wait.
the defensive dissecting that I did about the scheme, and this is why he didn't hear it, ladies and gentlemen.
I can still
Because
hear you, bro.
okay, well, yeah, bet. Let tell me something,
I've been hearing
But
you the whole entire time, like I said at the beginning.
oh well, yeah, I ain't got to repeat that thing. Well, yeah, you heard it. So yeah, I just want you to defend your premise, not based off bringing up other people into the argument because the Super Bowl was just between two teams. And again, we will get to CJ and the hypothetical. We'll play that game, but I want you to I want you to explain to me schematically on why they got their ass whooped. Because I know why they got
Um,
whooped.
for a few reasons. Few players didn't show up the way they needed to. A lot of game plan didn't change up at the right time. I felt like a
Can
couple
you?
plays could. You see,
I'm
here
Let
we
him
not.
go.
go.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
let
no,
him go.
no.
Let him go,
I
Webby.
want. No, I wanted. I just wanted to hear him. What he's. I wasn't trying to interrupt him to like make a point. I was just wanted you to. I wanted to hear you clearly in the beginning what you said.
I said some players didn't show up.
Okay.
They didn't. adjust their scheme fast enough at all. They seen that they were sending corner blitzes, they were sending all kind of blitzes at him, and they didn't adjust to it. They didn't make any quick draws. A lot of that decision making does fall on the quarterback, which is Drake May. Um, I felt like he did turn it on, but it was the definition of way too fucking late. Calm down, relax. What you still feelings about? I mean, good lord, dude. Dude lost Super Bowl. I'm telling you what happened. He
Turn it
had
on.
You know, man.
the kid tried to turn it on. If he didn't, he didn't. He tried. He ran. Couldn't get it done. He threw the ball. He threw two picks. I mean, we expect him to lay down and die. That's one thing he didn't do. He did not lay down and die not one point in that game against
You
a
right,
superior
Darnell.
defense
He
that
didn't.
everybody's been bragging about, right?
He didn't lay down. He choked. He didn't even have a chance to lay. He choked.
Choked.
Drake made choke, bro.
So he,
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna
all
say
right,
this.
that's fine.
I'm gonna say this. What happened Sunday? The Patriots got the Patriots got outclassed. And what also transpired is you witnessed when you overdraft and you overreach on a left tackle with T-Rex arms, who's really a guard,
I said that last week.
who can't. Well, damn, Black Peace, I didn't hear you bring that up today when they got their ass beaten. He got his face ran through. It would have been nice for you to bring up the defense and the scheme and the gap scheme that Mike McDonald specifically ran that actually got Mike Ngumake, I believe, with the Ravens, $100 million plus deal, the nose tackle for the Ravens, who was I think hurt for a majority of this past year, but the year prior when the Ravens were in the AFC Championship game, he was a pivotal piece, almost like a Byron Murphy type piece that Seattle deployed, within the game this past Sunday, almost equivalent to what he had when he was on that Ravens team. But yeah, man, it'd have been cool if you'd have brought up the fact that the Patriots O line, that left side is
You
you
didn't
know
let me
so,
get a chance to finish it up, but that's fine.
Hey man, if you was getting ready to say it, man, I just maybe I'm down 610 somewhere and you down 59. But it seemed like
I
you was
said it.
taking a mighty long time to get around to it, man. That's all I'm saying.
I
I ain't
said that
saying you
last
wasn't.
week. I said that last week. I said homeboy, the rookie guard, he is got exposed last week in the
But
Denver
they had
game.
won though, so it was different.
I even said it before. I said it on this podcast. It's on the recording. This is what I was talking about, Emac. This is exactly what I was talking about. Record back to that and show the people. I said, bro, he got exposed last week. If he don't step it up, he's gonna get killed. Period. That's what that was around that area. It was a small little point. I mean, it was more than that that lost him the game. It was a lot more than that. Like I said, Drake didn't come in the clutch. The receivers just, I mean,
I
they could
just
have done
think
a
they
little
didn't
bit
deserve to
more.
be there, to be honest.
And I mean, that's fine. I mean, who deserved to be there? That's the thing. Who actually deserved to be there? Honestly, Denver kind of really deserved to be there, to be honest.
I think
Wholeheartedly.
I would say I would, you know what, in the just taking the bias out of it, I would agree with that. I think Denver definitely deserved to be there over us. Um, just off the sheer fact that Bo Nix was one of the reasons that they were in it, as opposed to he didn't throw them out of that game. So you know,
I think Bo Nix would have got rocked just as bad. I just being honest. That stage,
I
the way those
I
guys were
disagree.
playing,
I
uh,
disagree.
well, that's
See,
hypotheticals.
see. This is the thing, right? This is the problem, right? Like, there's like a subtleness of like deflection, right? I haven't heard you say that Drake May did not live up to being Big Draco, but instead, what you keep saying is, well, what's a team that deserved to be there? What's a team that would have beat them?
Right.
I think this quarterback would have looked the same way.
Dan Orlovsky tactics: evade and avoid, or give excuses.
So, what was so poor about his performance, other than him
that
losing, throwing two picks?
So this is what
What,
this is
what could he have done
crazy.
better?
So, all right, this is what. All right. This is what.
That's what I'm
You
making
see
the
what he
point
just
of.
This is.
did?
Yes, I see what he just did. This is what Drake May could have done better. As as poor as the offensive line play was, there were still opportunities to be seized with a clean pocket and hitting your receivers. And in those with those opportunities, Drake May failed to seize those moments where it was all reliant upon him just making a read, making a throw, or using your legs, and it had nothing to do with the offensive line being shot.
There was no blitzing, and they did not blitz him, right?
Yes,
They
they
were not
blitzed
corner
him.
blitzes. They were not safety blitzes. They were not. I mean, what are you supposed to do when you're on the ground half the time? Ask any good quarterback. When you're on the ground half the time, all right, all right. I don't want to. I don't want to do what you're trolling me to want me to say, so I'm not gonna say it, and that's fine. Cause I respect the person too much to even try to categorize them because it ain't fair. But at the end of the day, dude, like you getting knocked on the ground most of the game. At a certain point, bro, you lose your rhythm. And I
This
mean,
is
what are you supposed to do?
what I feel like you trying to do. This is what I feel like you trying to do. I feel like, and this could be a reach, but this is how I feel. I feel like you are trying to Patrick Mahomes versus the Buccaneers, Drake May.
Why would I say that?
That's
He
your.
ain't Patrick Mahomes, buddy.
Exactly. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He
Not
don't
even
have three. He don't
close.
have four rings. He don't have three rings. He don't have five appearances.
Yeah,
He
but
don't have
like,
consistent playoff. No, that's a whole level of
I just
respect.
want to,
And he already had like two trips to the AFC Championship before that.
All right, cool. Like I said, it could be a reach, but this is what I would like to address. I would like for you to address that Drake May did not live up to your expectations.
Of the Super Bowl, like of what? Of the Super Bowl, absolutely not. As my player, absolutely,
Yeah, we're
I
talking
would
about the Super
I would
Bowl.
absolutely
make
not. He
I ain't gonna
failed.
lie. You know
Absolutely
what?
failed.
Let him
The fuck
broaden
up
that
was
because let him broaden that because one could argue this has been a constant theme across talking points of prominent media members, and I'm gonna go ahead and expound on it too. Like Drake May was extremely underwhelming throughout the entire playoff run. Let me be extremely clear.
yes,
Let me be
Lee,
extremely
did he also set a record for most turnovers in the postseason?
he was sacked the most times out of any postseason run,
Yeah.
I believe, in NFL history, and I believe um I want to say tied for one of the most turnovers as well. But you
No,
know,
I think when that graphic popped up, like soon thereafter, when a pick or two came, it's either like fumbles or turnovers. It's one of those. But
well,
he
I
set
mean,
a
fumble was
record.
a turnover. Now he didn't throw a lot of picks. I'll give him that, but he did. What became glaringly obvious to me is ball protection within the pocket. He will give up a lot of fumbles. I didn't know that
absolutely.
about him.
He been doing that since college, and I ain't nothing I can really say about that.
That's a problem.
Yes and no. Yes, I obviously protect that damn ball at all costs.
I was like, what
But
are we talking
I
about? Ed?
mean,
No.
So is turnovers a
can you
problem
cut
or
down the
not?
percentage by getting a? You had to cut down the percentage by having your offensive line get stronger. Now get a better one, but just get stronger. And that's going to take. I mean, see what happens next time. I mean, at the end of the day, he had two rookie offensive linemen on there. I mean, he did the best he could for what he had. It sounded like excuses, but I mean, for what he had, I mean, shit, bruh. I mean, shit.
This is what I
I
don't
mean,
like.
all right, all right. I just love how like I like the fact of how a lot of great quarterbacks when they're in the same position they get glorified for having a excellent offensive line, excellent this, great receivers, great this, great that, and they get magnified for being this awesome quarterback. But when you get put in this position where your offensive line is shady, you got one dude over here depressed because his girl broke up with him. You got other players who are not showing up as much as they need
Hey,
to.
don't give me
It's
real
like,
life stuff.
bruh,
We all going through shit. I don't care.
hey, it's self-evident. We all knew that. Come on now. We all
Hey
gonna be
man,
open with that.
hey niggas
I,
break up with
I
their girl every
empathize,
day,
but
b.
yeah, but niggas, come on, man. I don't.
He showing up on the plane like he was. Trying to
Hey
beat
man,
whatever,
niggas break
bro.
up with their girlfriend every
And ain't
day, B.
nobody tell this nigga Stephon Diggs to have 5 kids in 1 year. I'm not gonna empathize with you because you brought these seemingly problems amongst yourself. Nigga, keep your dick. This goes back to dick discipline. Don't come on. We talking about the game. Discipline is transcendent amongst every area of your life. And unfortunately, if you don't have good dick discipline, as you could see, it could play an external factor in how you perform on the field because there was a lot of pettiness, pre Super Bowl, a lot of talks of parties that were going to be going on that involved certain people that maybe we weren't cool with. It was just a lot of extracurricular that didn't have much to do with the main thing being the main thing, and that was the game. But I don't even want to blame it on that. The Patriots just got outclassed. They didn't deserve to be on the field with the Seahawks, and the Seahawks
They
made that
didn't.
very evident in regards to how they went
You,
about their business, bro.
and you
And
know
they
what's
have
funny?
and they drafted great 3 years straight. I had to give it to their GM. They have drafted greatly the past 3 years, bro. They have built this team over the last 3 years,
And you
and
know
they
what?
got
You know what's
Jalen
funny?
Milrow in the cut when Sam Darnold leave.
You know what's funny?
Prayerfully, he's
It would have been the
developing
ultimate.
beautifully.
I
Shout
think
out
at
to
the
the
end of the
H.
day, if land, if they would actually would have won, that would have been the most one of the most triumphant Super Bowl wins based on how good their defense was, with all this the offensive line issues, with them all being healthy. All right, that's fine. You just hate the fact that you know what, you know what, you know what. And I say this for the end for this part of the show, and I get it. You know why? Because at the end of the day, my heart's really not broken because my heart was broken weeks ago, and that's the truth. That's my favorite player. That's what I'm rocking with. My heart is always here. Don't play with me. My heart is
No,
always here. So at the end of the day, that is what it is, bro.
Is it
So
though?
When Patrick Mahomes spank our butt, he ain't your boy no more. Okay, then stop it.
What you mean?
And that ain't you. That's in general.
Drake
They would
May, I
love to do
believe
that.
Drake May, like I say, I believe Drake May is going to have a long career, and I think he's a really good quarterback. What I'm solely speaking to is the confidence and bravado for you to step him and to have faith in him to be Superman in the Super Bowl, and he wasn't even Robin. He was for him to be Batman. He wasn't even Robin. I have yet to hear you own up to Drake May falling, really pulling a Jared Allen. Like life's just too bright, and I just feel like you're running from that.
He fell absolutely short. But it sounds like I'm making excuses, but these are just the facts to it. He fell short. He did not. He tried and he failed miserably.
Short
Many
is an
times he tried to be
understatement.
What
Drake.
what
Short is
it
an
Oh
what it
my
understatement.
God!
sounds
When he
what it
tried to be
sounds
Drake, he
like
threw picks. Like at
what
this
it
point,
sounds
dude,
like to
like
me.
at this point, let's not talk about failures.
It
Please
sounds
don't. I'm
like
trying not to divert my energy to a different player now. Because that was really embarrassing.
it sounds like
Just saying.
instead of you coming on here and having some humility and and just having a bit of coon about you, you come on here, you're reactionary, you got your chest out, you telling me this, you trying to feed me a story
Yeah,
wrapped in chicken
it's
shit, and I'm like, come
it's
on,
like
man.
80% everything but Drake May was ass.
Yeah, but I wanted you to lead with that and
He's,
just kind of look at him.
I'm not understanding. Do you want me?
You
I
see,
said one thing. He was ass. He played bad. It
We
was shit.
saying you, I'm
I
saying
don't
you,
understand. I'm not deflecting none of this.
but
I'm
I
saying you did
struggle to
eventually
believe if
come
you
around to
believe
it.
he played that. Do you think? Do you believe?
He played ass. He's not ass. What point? I don't understand. I don't
You
get it.
Okay.
saying it, but I don't feel like you
Yeah,
saying
I
it,
don't
I
feel
don't
bro.
feel
like you
like you
believe.
believe it though.
Yeah.
I'm
I
that
feel
much
like
of
you
a
giving
fan.
me
I can't admit
PR,
a fan that
PR answers.
I'm that much of a fan that I can't admit when the stats say it, when the play says it, when options of how you could be better says it. What the fuck? He had a shitty game,
I'm gonna say
bad
this.
game, and
I'm
it
gonna
was
say this.
him. Jesus Christ, he had
I don't
options
even
to
think
make it
this is
better.
a
And he
hot. I don't think this is a hot take, and I'll argue anybody down about this. C.J. Stroud is a better quarterback than Drake May.
Easy.
Easy.
Even with, and you
And
know what?
I'm not a prisoner of the, and I'm not a, and you see how, nigga, I'm Mr. Texas, you ain't the he ready to walk off like I'm not telling the truth. I'm not being a homo or a prisoner of the moment just because CJ had the worst game of his
He had
career.
the worst game of his career, but an accumulation of playoff games and regular seasons.
Ask me who I
Oh,
would
here
rather
we
have. I
go.
would much rather have CJ Stroud, who doesn't have a turnover issue. I don't believe CJ Stroud has a turnover issue.
I
I do
believe that
believe
game
he's
was an anomaly. Personally,
Mm.
I do
I
believe
pray
that
it
game
was an
I
anomaly.
find it really strange
I
how
believe
y'all are
that game
taking
was
the
an
same
anomaly.
kind of y'all taking both elimination games and y'all are treating them differently because of your bias, and it's crazy.
But again, bro,
No, I'm not.
Drake
But I
May
don't get
was
it.
carried. Like you could have a future and believe Drake May to be everything that you dream for him to be. That's cool, and I respect that. I'm not knocking it. Again, I think Drake May is a really good quarterback. I fuck with him too, but again, the bravado and the tone, the sentiment that you are carrying for Drake May as if like he was a godsend and he carried the New England Patriots through this playoff run is absurd. And that is what we are calling you out for.
I think
I'm just,
CJ Stroud has
oh
a
my
stronger arm than
God,
Drake May. I
Jesus
think
freaking
he has more arm
Christ.
talent than Drake May. I think he layers throws better than Drake May. I think he
When
has, I'm
have
just
I
saying.
ever said that this man was monumental during these playoffs? I said he is led them through it and made some big plays. Plays, not games, not even
I don't.
quarters,
I think
not
the
even
defense.
halves.
I think
I
the
said
defense
plays.
led them through. The defense led them through,
That's
and
fine. You delivered that. That's
with the
cute.
assistance of C.J. Stroud. Bro, Drake May
That's
has
what it all
been
boils down
Drake.
to.
Bro,
That's what it all boils down to. That's fine. The
Drake May
reason,
had the job every quarterback dreams of, which is just don't fuck it up.
The reason I can't
yeah, he
empathize
did it
with you
like
on
three
that
times in
point,
a row and he fucked up one time. And it's
I
like, oh
can't
my God, you're
empathize with you on
shitty.
that point, Darnell, because
You can't
Drake
empathize with shit.
not only not only and I get it.
All love, bro. All
I
love.
get it. But Drake May and the Patriots, bro, they look at the strength of schedule, man. They had the easiest schedule in the
Oh
league.
my God. Last time I checked, I didn't
You're
care about the strength of schedule. Last time I checked on this podcast, y'all roasted somebody for
well,
talking
you
about the
know
strength of
what?
schedule.
Well, you know what? I hope you don't care about it next year when your ass get a first place schedule and you get to see them niggas every week, and you don't get to
And
see
you
teams
playing.
that are under 500
And
religiously.
that's how you're
Yeah.
going to sharpen their iron. That's perfectly fine. It's going to make them a
Man,
better
I hope
franchise.
y'all draft good, and I hope y'all get better in the offseason because y'all gonna need it. Because that first place schedule can be humbling. Ask CJ Stroud. And that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it all boils
Yeah,
down to. Listen, Jay.
cause you getting on CJ as if CJ didn't perform with the easy schedule initially. And then when we did win the division and we got the first place schedule and we had Stephon Diggs and everybody was healthy, we was terrorizing the league before everybody went down. And then when we didn't have receivers and then we didn't have an O line, and CJ still persevered through and still won a playoff game. They wasn't trying to throw him away. But when something similar happens in that third year and they don't even start off hot, we have a historic defense and we end up going 12-5. Now all of a sudden, because CJ has a concussion and he missed 3 games and Davis Mills plays mid and gets carried by the defense, and all of a sudden CJ has the worst game of his career on that last divisional playoff game. Now all of a sudden we need to hold the horses and see. Oh, we need to. If Cincinnati want to trade Joe Burrow for CJ, we need to. Man, no, we don't need to
Whoa.
do
Now you're
that.
putting words in my mouth
I'm not
now.
saying.
I've
I
never
know. I'm
made
not saying.
that.
I didn't
I
say
was like,
you said
whoa,
that.
whoa, whoa. I'm
I'm just
bothered.
talking
I'm
about
upset. I'm
narratives.
hurt. But I ain't
No, I'm
talking
talking
about
about
trading the
narratives in
boy.
general. I'm not talking about
Lord
you. I'm
have
just talking about
mercy.
like
I got you, bro. I got you. You
yeah,
scared me. I'm like,
narratives that may be on the internet and stuff like that, just circulating. Currently that I've seen online. So I'm not lumping you into that, but I'm just speaking in general. But like I said all that to say, like, let's pump the brakes a little bit, man. Let's remember history and let's remember what CJ has done. And I just think he's a better player than Drake. Although, shout out to the Patriots for making the Super Bowl. You played a depleted Broncos team without their quarterback. And then, CJ had the worst game of his, but it's just like, hey.
which every player is entitled to. You just hate that it
Yeah.
comes at the most unopportune time.
Hey man, I
Um.
hate it had to be him.
All right. Next question: does C.J. Stroud perform better than Drake May?
Based on how he plays when he gets sacked and he's uncomfortable, I don't think he does.
We
I think he
played the
gets a little more
Seahawks
desperate.
already. We played
And we
Seahawks already.
lost. And we lost.
It was closer than that bullshit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It
My
was way
bad, y'all.
closer
Pop
than
up
that.
something.
We only
And
lost
C
by a possession.
and CJ was in that game, right? Just make it,
Yes,
I'm
we
not
only
being
lost
funny
by
over here.
no. We only lost by a possession. That's what I'm saying. It was a close game. So if you say like when you constantly bring up the point of could CJ, could anybody else have done better? Yes, and have done better. Did they
So
still
you
lose? Yes, but it
do
was
you
a
feel like the
much
Patriots
closer game.
do you
A
feel like the
much
Patriots is a better defense than the Seahawks? No.
no.
Okay then. I don't understand that. That's just pure logic.
I think you missed the point.
I get what
Yeah,
So
you're saying. That's
the
regular season.
Texans
I
played the
get that.
Seahawks.
What I'm
The
saying
score
is
was closer.
in the
The
regular season.
Seahawks played the Patriots. Okay, but I'm saying we have a litmus test. Both teams played, albeit different stages. One game was closer and competitive. One game was a complete ass whooping shellacking. You get where I'm going with it. You see where you see the difference in that. Like you asking like could somebody have fared better? And I'm like people have fared better.
so in that game, C.J. Stroud, 229 yards, one touchdown, one interception. And let's see, did he have any
Better than
fumbles?
Drake May. Unfortunately, hey bro, don't. Hey, I'm trying not to bring this up, Darnell, to bust your little bubble. But Drake May had the most garbage time yards in NFL Super Bowl history.
Yeah,
Nigga, leading
yeah.
into the fourth quarter, them niggas didn't have over 100 yards of nothing.
And at that point, they were just playing prevent defense. So take whatever you want
Bro,
underneath.
them niggas had 195 yards in the fourth quarter, all
So a lot of
garbage.
that
It
and
was
a lot of that
very
came
Dak
from
Prescottish.
and a lot of that came from
Yes.
the air, right? A lot
Hey,
of it
you
came
leave
from
that
getting
Prescott
past.
out of this shit.
A lot of it
Y'all
came from
fight
being on
this
the
CJ
ground, my
shit out
dog.
amongst yourselves. Leave Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott all the way out of this. Y'all talking about if CJ Stroud could have did better.
A lot of, I
It's
mean,
Y'all
I
the
guess
sound
it
truth.
is
like
what it is,
Cowboy
man. I
fans. How
guess.
the hell
It's
CJ
the truth,
Stroud get
man.
motion and lost?
Like I said, emotions are running high. Um, I'm not really as hurt as provoked, but I am going. It is my boy. I do feel kind of some type of way about it, but the second year, I'm not. It ain't the end of the world. Second year, I can live with fuck ups. Second, I can really live with that.
Bro, but again,
Okay.
you take being there for granted. You think you go
Like y'all
get
gonna be
back.
back. And
It ain't
brother,
no guarantee you going back.
I'm here to tell you.
And Drake
I'll make a
May
I'll
is
make
in
a
a
bold prediction right now. I don't think he's going back. I
like
don't. I don't think he's
career
going
or
back.
do I
I just love
career
this.
or
I love
Career.
like
this. I love
Career.
this.
wow.
I
Drake
love
May
this.
is not going back to the Super Bowl. Sean
Hey
Hart is
man,
said
I
book it.
like
call me
this.
what you
I
will.
like
Call me
this.
what you will. I don't see it, bro. Maybe we'll bring this clip up and maybe I'll get clowned on the internet or maybe I won't and maybe I'll look like a prophet. I don't know. But if that Texans team continues to trend upward and Brian Dayball with Cam Ward, they start working magic with Robert Saleh down. I just think the AFC South is going to be better. I believe the AFC East with the Miami Dolphins is going to take a little bit of time for them to be better. But Joe Brady leading the charge over there. But I just think the AFC as a whole in its totality, it's going to be people knocking back at the door that are more equipped and more talented than the Patriots. And I just think it's going to be tough moving forward, at least in the
And the
immediate
type of
future.
luck they
I can't see
had, you
it.
don't capture that twice throughout a career with the type of luck they had this season in the playoffs.
And it ain't
I like
like
the
Drake made Jalen Hurts or anything. He can't lead his team to two Super Bowls within 3 years. Surely he can't do that.
I like the fact that this is just amazing how one performance can just dictate your whole career, and
It's
this is outstanding.
That's all we
You
have to
can
go off of. And you know what's crazy,
one
Darnell?
performance.
You know what's crazy? It's really not the one performance. If Drake may have been shredding it the past two games and then he finally like came back down to earth in the Super Bowl, it'll be a different circumstance. It'll be like, they got the best of him. But
Is that
he's
a
been
90-second
ass
Merlot?
since the playoffs started.
Now, this is El Duca. It's from San Antonio.
I like that sound bite.
Nigga
I
say,
love
nah,
that
nigga,
sound bite.
this is a El Dookie from I
It's
don't know.
95 miles down the road.
Yeah, this is simple sip while I chill with my fucking boys. All right,
um,
um, I wanted to make y'all mad, but I wanted y'all to hash that Texas shit out amongst yourselves. But I wanted to make y'all mad, and no, CJ Stroud could have not done better. No, it's just, and it ain't got nothing to
Brother,
do
he
with the
already
skill.
did better.
It's got nothing to do with, to me, with the skill level of the quarterbacks. It's got everything to do with the fact that defense was not going to be denied. Period. No matter who they played. So that's the only reason I say. Not saying that he could have done worse. No quarterback was beating that defense. That's right.
I mean, that's
That's true.
fair. But
I feel
if you
fair.
put CJ in that situation, that means he brought his defense with him too. So then the question is, he may not have to do better than Drake may, but like he may just be because it's not like Sam Donald would like balled out of control. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like after a certain period of time, like the defense like finally like bend don't break, they finally broke. But the defense may save the day for
Kind of like
CJ
Patrick
Stroud.
Mahomes
No,
against the
because if he
Eagles.
ain't
Like
got
he's
Joe Mixon and all them boys back there, what's the boy Wilburn? What's that right? Willie Marks. If
Woody
he ain't got
Marks.
all them back there, lugging the
I ain't
ball
gonna
like
lie.
old buddy was, I
I
don't
ain't gonna
know.
lie. If we could get, and I know this is premature, if we can get Jeremiah Love, I don't think we will. My fear is, in a lot of mock drafts I've been seeing, Jeremiah Love is slated to fall to the Chiefs at 9. And I think
While Patrick Mahomes is sitting in hibernation in an incubator.
like Goku fucking waiting, and that scares the living hell out of me. But if we can get Proctor, the tackle from Alabama, if he falls to us, and we can get like another guard or tackle, and then maybe because I think that LT trade is finally paying dividends. The Laramie Tunsil trade that we have with the Commanders. I think we got multiple seconds and thirds this
Yeah, we
year.
got picks back for him. Yeah,
Yeah, so like we're gonna have, I believe, 2 or 3 second round picks and like 2 third round picks this year. So like we pretty loaded towards the top, which means we can actually make a lot of noise, in my opinion, in regards to retooling that offensive line and retooling the offense as a whole. Maybe we don't go heavy receiver because we did go receiver so heavy in the pass draft because we do have Tank Dell coming back from injury. We do still have, again, Jaden Higgins showed a lot of promise. Jalen Noel will be more pivotal after Christian Kirk his free agency. So I think if we go O-line and running back, man, and run this back, I think we got a chance. Call me crazy, but at least she calling.
You definitely need a whole line. You don't get no more backers. You definitely need a whole line.
We need O-line like air for sure.
yeah. No, we definitely need the O line, man. Oh, he's not on. It's not. It's not worth it.
Oh, Darnell left already?
Oh yeah, man, you jabroni. I saw it.
Madonna.
um. So NBA All Star break is coming up, and nobody really cares at this at this point. NBA All
Oh,
Star Weekend is like that. I remember being a kid, like being out for NBA All Star Weekend, like it being so exciting. Even when I couldn't go, like just the excitement and the anticipation was like enough because it's like, oh man, I can't wait to get home and watch NBA All Star Weekend like this whole
dunk
entire weekend.
contest, three
And
point
and we talking
contest.
about this is like before like the social media area. You know what I'm saying?
Before
Right.
So
COVID.
so
This nigga.
yeah, yeah, man. So being able to like be in that era, it was a beautiful time, man. All stars are really all stars. Guys getting into the all star team is like that makes sense. That makes sense. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Whereas
Yep.
now it's just like,
Yep.
who's that
What are y'all
again?
doing? What are
what
y'all
it,
doing?
exactly like what are y'all doing? But it's obviously fictitious. I don't think the NBA would do it because in terms of like what they're trying to market and promote. But I have a solution to fix NBA All Star Weekend, and I really think it's a brilliant idea. So have all the festivities, and also to just remove NBA All Star, like the game itself. It just I mean, well, if you remove that, players don't got to be there. Then it's like the ecosystem of like the economics and like whatever city that makes sense. So I guess to a degree you got to have a game, but then I'm thinking about this in real time and trying to figure out how to make it work. But this is what you could do. So Saturday, maybe you do the game, keep the game on Sunday because if you have the game before, then there's no reason to stick around. But Saturday, I would say that Friday you move your 3 point contest, your dunk contest, move that to like Friday. Saturday, make Saturday around the All Star break fight night. Just like everybody would go out to a fight on your typical Saturday. Saturday night, fight night, NBA players build you up a card.
Don't
History
make it don't
contest.
make it Sunday like when everybody chilling and stuff because it feeds into the laid back ambiance and vibe of everything. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, no, I mean I would say make it Sunday, but when are you gonna have the actual All Star game? And if you have the All Star game before the fight, ain't nobody sticking around for the fight. We trying to get
Right,
back
who
to
fighting? That's what I was.
What
Cancun or
that's what
Who
I'm
whatever.
saying?
fighting?
Like what a fight come into play? Like what you
Who
On
fighting?
set, the niggas around the league who we see beefing and we know don't like each other.
Oh, you want niggas to go get some gloves from Walmart and go just
Yeah, and I was
go
gonna
fuck
say like I was gonna say
man, this nigga.
no headgear, but I'm obviously you're gonna have to have some headgear because like the season you got to go
Hey,
right into the season a couple days
hey,
later.
hey.
But bro, hear
Welcome
me
to
out.
growing up in Houston, where you just get
If
so
you,
bored and you want niggas to just fight.
bro, I'm telling you, 3 point contest, dunk contest, Friday, Saturday is fight night. Build you up like 3 matches,
No, it
get
makes it
I
more
ain't
you,
gonna
exciting.
lie. I ain't gonna lie,
bro.
bro. So I'm gonna go old school for a second. When did it become lame to participate in the duck contest? When did niggas become too good to do that? Like,
Oh,
Oh,
brother,
Braun set their
brother.
precedent.
Yeah,
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 that's
he did.
that's so pussy to me, bro. Like, bro, Jordan got multiple dunk contest championships on it, but you know what I mean? Like, niggas don't
Athletic
care about the game.
superstars participated in the
Come
dunk
on, bro. Ain't
contest.
no reason why we shouldn't get John Morant, Zion. You know what I mean? Like, man,
Then
shout
Mac
out, shout out.
McClung been the latest bright spark, and he was like, "Nah, I ain't doing it this
In the
year."
last dunk contest that was really worth something, in my opinion, man. Shout out to Zach Levine and Aaron Gordon for putting on a
Yeah,
legendary dunk contest in 2016, bro. Because
yeah.
those are the last couple people. They were still making their marks in the league, you know. And man, just shout out to them, man. Just for putting it all
Still
out on the line.
Karen.
Yeah,
I can appreciate it, man. 2016, go to year, man. Just he had to be there.
Indeed, indeed,
He
man.
did.
Yeah, but let's get back to fixing this fight card for this. Like hypothetically, right? Who do we put on the fight card for this NBA All Star break? We just seen it last night. Put Jalen Duren and Miles Bridges on the card. right? Make them fight. Draymond Green.
Who fighting Dylan Brooks?
There we go. Draymond Green, Dylan Brooks. Put them on the card. Gotta find like an undercard. I don't know who we could find for like an undercard. I don't. Yeah, we gotta find like one more undercard.
Jeremiah
And
Fears, honorable mention.
who is that he got into it with? Giannis? What?
That
No,
was Lou Dort.
Oh
bro.
no.
There we
Yeah,
go. We
Right.
just made the card.
yeah. Nah,
There
We
we
just
go.
Lou
so
Dort
check
did
this
something.
out, right? So check this out. We built the bro,
Celebrity edition, Jeff Teague and Zaire Franklin.
bro. Come on, come
Can we talk? Hold on.
on.
Can we talk about that for a second? The altercation that they had on
Yeah,
520 with
I watched
Jeff
it
Teague.
today. I listened to your take. I
That shit
watched
was
it
hilarious,
today.
bro. Jeff Teague a
So
troll.
not a troll. I feel like it was disrespectful, like, and he crossed the line because Zaire was trying to deflect and diffuse it to where it's just like, come on, bro, like we ain't got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Sometimes podcasting, you need like a viral moment like that, but like Teague and them podcasts don't operate off clickbait shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just organic vibes, and
Mm-hmm.
So when it was happening, I was just like, man, is he really trying to play Zaire Franklin like he ain't an all pro bowler? And then when he really got to breaking it down, and I sent y'all that clip, he was just like, yo, Teague, like I'm an all pro, like you never made all NBA. Like I'm really like that. I'm captain on
Yeah.
every team. Like, watch how
Yeah.
you fucking talk to me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, nah, for real though. Like he making a
Yeah.
strong point. Like,
But
and
did
Yeah.
he
then
not
and then
have?
them,
Did he not have an honest like? Okay, so was it not honest confusion, or was Jeff Teague being disrespectful? That's
no, no,
my
no, no,
that's
no.
my
Jeff
I
T
question.
think
came out on an apology to like it was a whole 8 minute video they put out. You
oh, I
know,
didn't even see that. I
yeah,
didn't
But
even
just
yeah,
see
nah,
that.
because Buddy seemed confused, and
Hey,
old
shout
Buddy
out
said
to
out
Zaire
loud that he was
Franklin. Shout
confused.
out Zaire, Syracuse alum. We went to Syracuse same time. So yeah, shout out to my Orangeman.
yeah, shout out to Zaire Franklin. But yeah, bro, like it was the clip I sent in the podcast group, bro. It was very deliberate, and it was just like even the other 520 dudes that was on panel, they were just like, yo, it was uncomfortable after a while. It was just like, bro, what are you doing, Jeff? Like,
So two things, maybe more than two. One, I know sometimes I'm not sure exactly what time they shoot. So I don't know if they shoot like hella early in the morning. I know sometimes they have a morning show.
I
I
want
don't
to
know
say
if that
they,
was the. I
yeah, I'm
don't
about
know
to
if
say
that
I
was the
want to say
morning show.
520, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
so with that being the case, I know sometime on the show they be drinking. So I was like, damn, is Jeff like drunk? That's one thing. It
Damn.
was two, it was Zaire's. He had mentioned it was his last day on the pod because he only there for like the football recaps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so he on
So
vacation. Yeah, he finna go
so
on
he
vacation.
so
They
yeah,
brought that
right.
up too.
And so I was just like, is Jeff like trolling because he know this is his last day? That's
Could be
two.
trying to go viral before the last time he get off the pod.
Then three, I believe they shoot the pod on like Jeff's property. So I also felt like Jeff was talking slick because it was a home game for him. Whereas if this was maybe a neutral site, different
Yeah, and he was
circumstances,
just like, man, you
Jeff
can
will.
shit. He was just like, you can get it. He was like, oh, that's what we on. He was like,
Yeah,
I might.
yeah, yeah. So like, I feel like Jeff was talking crazy because it's just like this is a home game for me. So
Yeah,
whatever
he
you
was like,
trying to
I
do,
might
it's
be.
going. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. If they was on neutral site, I don't think Jeff popping off like that for real. Um, and when the conversation continued and they was like showing the fight and stuff, and he was like, yeah, that was about to be me and Zaire, and like Jeff like talking like, yeah, I'm about to have everybody in this motherfucker too, and I was just like, see, you talking crazy because like you feel like you like this
Yeah,
yo, you
Zaire
know what
would
I'm,
have, and
you know what I'm
really,
saying?
bro would have
So
stood on 10 with you and really peeled you and got you
you,
out of here
you know what I'm
quick.
saying? One on one, but like Jeff on
Yeah.
some just like nigga, you put a hand on me. I got a couple phone calls I'm about to make. So like
Hey, bro, I
Jeff
ain't gonna
Teague
lie, I'm
was on
fucking with
some
you, bro. I
weird
think because
time.
Jeff Teague, even the stories he be telling, it's like, bro, you tell the stories about how you got low key bitched in the league, but hey, that's you.
Yeah,
Hey,
he
that's how
does
it
have
is.
he has a self-deprecating type of humor.
Yeah,
That wins you over because he doesn't boast in the league, because it is certain role players in the league that do boast, more than they should. But I think Teague was at his peak. He was definitely more than a role player. At his peak,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah. He
an all
wasn't.
star on that great Atlanta team. You know, he was a 20 point per game
He was the,
scorer.
like a leader, like him, Al Horford, and
Yeah,
all
he was a
them. Like,
captain on the team, right? So he wasn't just like a guy that was along for the ride. Like he
yeah,
was, you know
yeah,
what I
like
mean? Like
I
he
want to say
wasn't
was their
like
main scorer.
he wasn't like no Rashard McCants on no shit like that or Patrick Beverly. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
actual real contributors. You know what I mean? And not to say Patrick Beverly ain't no real contributor, but you know what I mean? Like just a more prominent role on offense, and
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah, and more of a Brandon Jennings.
not Brandon Jennings, bro. Brandon Jennings wasn't shit in the league. Brandon Jennings get over on a good high school mixtape and 2 peak years in the league, bro, and that's it. Brandon Jennings fly by night, and that ain't me on no hating shit. Everybody be like, "Oh, Brandon Jennings," you be like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense why him, Rashard McCants, and Nick Young on Gilbert Arenas podcast. Because Gilbert Arenas want niggas around him that he could, little bro. You know what I mean? And that's shout out to Gilbert Arena, but like, that ain't my Kenyon Martin type nigga. Niggas like that. Like niggas who you could look down on and be like, oh yeah, I had a definite better career than him.
Oh,
You know?
oh.
Because Kenyon Martin pop it like he just
Yeah. Hey, he was cold, bro. Like,
yeah,
he was
bro.
Hey,
Niggas
cold.
always it always blow my mind when niggas like reminisce about themselves, like how niggas always end up magically 2 times better than they actually was.
but look,
Later on in life.
I give Kenyon this, and maybe you could still knock him for it. But like, I get it. It's just like I came to the West, and it was Tim Duncan, it was Dirt, it was KG. It was like, where do I fit in? Like, how am I going to make an all star when it was like a position type of thing back then? But some could still say, like, nigga, you just wasn't good enough then. But you know what I'm
We
saying?
watched it.
Yeah, and
So,
and I ain't gonna lie, even the way he was talking about KJ Morton on the podcast, like, yeah, man, when what you call it was out there and they had KJ out there running, like, man, you got to put him in the right. I'm like, man, your son finna be out the league. He already out the league, bro. Like, your son ain't like that, bro. Like talking about some, yeah, when the Rockets had KJ, man, they were just playing a certain way, and I just feel like they got away. Man, they ain't got away from that. They got better players than your son, and they thriving,
yeah.
bro.
But every parent gonna feel like that.
And I feel that, but be objective, nigga. Even LeBron ain't on this whole saying how much the Lakers need this nigga.
I mean, Brian did say Bronny is better than half the guys in the league.
He said that, but he was hyping them to get him
Yeah,
drafted.
he was
Everybody
being
know what he
bad.
was.
He was being
But he
bad.
ain't. You see, he ain't saying that shit now.
Yo, you know what I think is going to be a very intriguing dynamic? Gil being the showman and entertainer that he is, I wonder how much, if any at all, will he taper his opinions about where his son may end up getting drafted to, if he will at all. I wonder. I want to see how he's gonna, how biased or maybe not biased, objective, if you will, he'll be once his son gets into the league. Son having a good career. People don't really like his son been having a great game, been having highlights the past couple of weeks, but people don't talk about the fact that like he's doing all of this coming back from like knee
Almost dying in a car
a
accident.
knee injury, and then almost dying in the car first, and then trying to bounce back from that, and then hurting your, like, I think it's toward meniscus or something, a knee injury. And so for him to like be looking like none of that happened to him, I think that's like that's a real big accomplishment. That's a real big deal. But
We really all just waiting on cayenne pepper. That's what we all waiting on.
I don't know, bro. They just benched him, so like I don't know how that's gonna continue to like
Oh yeah,
matriculate.
being a Syracuse alum, how do you feel about them benching like they best bench scorer after Carmelo Anthony coming and shaking my head on a social media post and Kanye
I
receiving DMPs right after that? If I'm Melo,
so
I'm taking my funding away and I'm getting that coach out of there, buddy.
and that's the dichotomy of like where we at with NIL. Is like in my brain, I'm like,
And get ready to learn HBCU, buddy. No
damn.
disrespect to my HBCU.
bro.
Yep. Come to TSU. Come to PV.
Oh
Come to
shit!
Yeah,
Fisk.
bro.
Come to
God damn.
Pacoima.
Bro, you could have stayed at the mid major, bro. We didn't need no type of
Oh,
shots.
right. Yeah, mid major. My fault. Get ready to learn D3.
Like,
Well,
because you said HBCU
like it
when
was.
we talk about the pros, we really be like, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah.
Get ready to
Let's
learn
say get ready to
HBCU.
learn
He didn't mean
community
that like
college,
that,
buddy.
NAACP. Goddamn. Get off my boy's neck.
Nigga say ICDC. Look at that.
Say, get ready to learn. It's like, damn, what HBCU got to do with this?
Calm down, Q dog.
Nah, bro. I think it's yeah. I don't know. I don't know why he getting benched. I can't. I'm not gonna act like I've like really been like watching the Syracuse play like faithfully, but yeah, them type of circumstances is tough because like I don't think Syracuse is like ranked or anything like that. So it's just like, bro, why you want you let them get that burn and like get those minutes? But then again, those be them type of situations where you got the true freshman at Cayenne, you playing all these older players on some like, well, let me help them get some tape so maybe they could transfer or go somewhere else or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't know the dynamics of it. I don't know if he got a true relationship with those guys he's playing over Kai, or if it's a money attachment through the NIL and it's just like, well, damn, if the school paying you this much, we gotta pay. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't got no alumni portal where you can call. Like, hey, what the hell going on up there?
I mean, like Isaac said, like I mean, I went to school there, so I mean, there's a whole decked out Carmelo Anthony shrine, and it's just like, damn, my nigga, you got some balls on you to like not play this nigga's son.
Like this nigga won't make a call and be like, yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling this nigga. Let's get somebody else in here.
Yeah, bro. So like, I mean, but salute to you know,
Y'all
yeah.
still
So,
want my $10 million annual donation? Yeah. Let's get this nigga out of here today.
Y'all still want the world to keep coming to this school?
Yeah, motherfucker. Let's act like we got some sense.
Yeah, y'all know the film program ain't bringing money in like that.
Let's say Kyan Anthony getting in his third start of the season today.
Nah, it's funny. It's crazy because yeah, nah, I ain't gonna. It sound crazy, bro, but they don't really need Melo money, bro. They got so much like rich alumni.
I get it, but at the same time, them same alumni,
like Super Bowl, Mike Tirico, I know they kicking back crazy. Like I know it's probably nothing for Melo at a time to be like, here go 1-2 million, but like the
it be tax
influx.
write-offs really at the end of the day, but niggas be want to get back to their school because it's the perks that they get back in return. Like, you know, Melo get the, you know, he probably got his own section in Syracuse and, you know, everything like that. So, you know.
So I'm looking at this headline now, and it says Carmelo Anthony calls his son being benched a part of the journey. So salute to Melo in that regard of just being like, yo, this come with the territory versus being like some parents who ain't got no type of credentials, even remotely dreamed about being next to Carmelo Anthony. Some parents are wild out, but for Melo to like, you know, be Melo and like have that perspective, I think that's a commendable as you know as a father as well as you know just like being a mentor to his son as he going through this process. So yeah, I think it makes Cayenne more hungrier. I know he's working with his dad nonstop, so yeah, part of the journey like Melo said, but if he's not the coach next year, I don't think that'll be a coincidence. Like Shine Hard said.
Hey, man.
That'll be crazy if he end up at HBCU. I'm like, damn, Isaac jinxed this nigga, man.
Hey.
But nah, shout out to HBCU sports in general, man. That's why I got my start, and that's why I am where I am and who I am today, man. Support HBCU sports for sure. They had some technical difficulties as we was wrapping up the episode. We was talking about the J. Cole album, and audio files got distorted, and so I happened to be the only one who got around to listening to the J. Cole album, and so I wanted to make it a point to give my first listen analysis on this episode. I'm sure next week we'll come back and talk about it some more as my brothers get around to listening to it and come back and give their opinion. But I want to make sure I gave my first listen analysis as a J. Cole fan, and him being like my favorite artist of all time. Like I said, I want to give my analysis on my just off my first listen of the album. I still been living with the album, still been listening to it throughout the week. But I'm going to do my best to stay in or give my mind frame and how I felt about the album as I was listening to it for the first time. That being said, to start off with my analysis, I would have to say I did not get the opportunity to listen to the album. My first listening to it completely uninterrupted all the way from top to bottom. I hate that I hadn't been able to do that, but I didn't want to try to wait for quote unquote the perfect time to try to listen to the album, and time flies and I still ain't heard it. So I was listening to it bit by bit, piece by piece when I can. Stop, get busy, have to handle this, have to do that, come back into it, pick up where I left off. And so that's kind of where I guess that's like the start or the foundation of like me only listening to it one time. Um, Maybe listen to 3, 4, maybe 5 songs at a time. Then, like I say, get caught up doing something and have to come back. Maybe go back and listen to some, then listen to another 5. So it hasn't been completely uninterrupted listen. So you may or may not like my take on the album for saying that. And my take on the album could be, I guess, a bit jaded because I wasn't able to process it and take it all in at one complete time. But nonetheless, listening to the album, first listen, opinion of it, I think the second half of the album, Disc 39, I think it is way better than Disc 29. Obviously, music is subjective. I'm curious as to know how many of y'all out there either agree with me or feel like Disc 29, the first half of the album, you would prefer that half of the album over the second half of the album. But me personally, first listen, I don't think it's close. I think Disc 39, I think it gets Disc 29 up out of here. I really do. The 39 intro song, the rapping on that was my favorite part of the album. I feel like Cole should have opened up with really Disc 39. Like, open up the album with Disc 39 and like let's rock out. I did not like the sequencing of the album. It's starting with, Disc 29, which obviously I wasn't the biggest fan of. I didn't like the sequencing of the album. Could I feel different in that once I'm able to actually process the album and listen to it all the way through uninterrupted? Maybe, possibly, but off a first time listen, was not a fan of the sequencing of the album. And I also feel like too that there are some skips on the album. Some people could take it as a slight. Some may feel like that is utterly disrespectful to say that this album, being J. Cole's, in his opinion, his best body of work, to say that it has skips, some could deem that to be utterly disrespectful. But that's just my opinion off my first listen. And in feeling like the album has skips, it made me wonder if an album can be deemed a classic if it has skips. Can an album be a classic if it has skips? And so as I was just listening to the album, I was just like, I don't really care for this song. It's cool, I guess. Maybe it'll grow on me, maybe it won't. I'm not eager to go back and listen to it or replay it or what have you. Yeah, so I think of my first listen, the album does have skips. And does that take away from it potentially growing and developing into being a classic? Overall, listening to the album, I felt like it was a huge thank you like I feel like the album. I don't know how exactly I want to articulate it, but the album to me in its entirety, I feel like was a thank you letter to hip hop, and I got that from like all the samples that I was hearing. Though it was like my first listen, and like I say, I didn't listen to it completely uninterrupted all the way through. I heard a lot of samples with the beats. I heard a lot of flow references from various artists, and I feel like that was J. Cole's way of just paying homage to hip hop and the artists and songs that influenced him throughout his career. And also too, I think he made an extremely conscious effort in in thanking hip hop. I also believe he made a conscious effort to simultaneously make sure he paid homage and tribute to Fayetteville, his hometown, and kind of just being like, hey, no matter how far people try to put me up on this pedestal of being this superstar, I'll never forget where I came from, that being Fayetteville. And so I think that was the overall sentiment and tone of this album is, letting Fayetteville, his hometown, know like I'll never forget where I came from, but also making sure with this being quote unquote his last album, making sure he paid his proper respects to hip hop and all of its influence on J. Cole personally and as an artist. So yeah, do I think this is going to be J. Cole's last album? Listening to the album when I finally finished it, that was one of the first. I don't even say the first thought. I felt like listening to the album. As I was listening to the album, I felt like this isn't Cole's last album. I feel like Cole exemplified him being in his like final form of being able to rap and produce songs at his absolute best. It's just like, how do you say that this is your last album when like one could argue you're just not entering your prime with this album, right? And so even though I feel like the song had skips, though I wasn't a fan of like the sequencing, I still think it was a really good body of work that J. Cole put out. I will say that. I'm not sure. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on like whether it's a classic or not, because maybe just off fandom, I guess you could say, or maybe recency bias, I'll still say Forest Hills Drive is just one of those. I feel like just let it play, and I don't necessarily feel like just let it play with the fall off. Like I say, it has skips, and that's just off again. Prefacing my very first listen of the album. But yeah, J. Cole's saying that it's his last album. I don't believe him. What I think is now that he no longer has a contractual obligation to produce X amount of albums, I think J. Cole personally no longer wants to have the expectation to release a project hovering over his head. And so in order to kill the expectation from the fans, he says, hey, this is his last album. Therefore, we shouldn't expect nothing from him. And the 24 songs that he gave us throughout the course of the album is his way of being like, hey, I hope this holds you over until I release another project. And it may be a while, of course, but I still don't think this is his last album. And I think the 24 songs, also when listening to them, I feel like the 24 songs, they were a compiled of, it could have possibly been like 2 albums and maybe a mixtape worth of music within those 24 songs. And I feel like, again, because J. Cole may be like over the expectation of having to like put out albums and go through all that comes with that, as opposed to him releasing the 2, maybe a mixtape worth of, though compiled with those 24 songs, releasing that within the course of like 2 to 3 years. He wants to be like, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm giving y'all this all at once. I'm washing my hands with it. It is no longer an obligation or responsibility of me to provide the masses with music. I'm telling y'all this is my last one, again, to curve and kill y'all expectation of ever expecting something from me. And because we shouldn't be expecting nothing from him with the announcement that this is his last one, it completely removes him from pressure of feeling like, again, he has to provide us with music and meet deadlines and like all that comes with that. So I think it was just him just killing just the expectation and allowing him to go forth and live his life however he sees fit freely without having to be worried about producing an album. But knowing J. Cole the way I believe to know J. Cole through his music and how much music plays a part in his life and how much he's inspired to use his pen, for those reasons, I believe J. Cole is going to eventually release another project. So I'm not really too hung up on like, oh man, this is really his last one. I'll bet the house on Cole releasing another project in the near future. So yeah, man, that's pretty much like my overall take of the off the first listen of the album. Again, let me know if y'all prefer the 39 intro or 39 disc 39, the second half of the album, over the first half of which half of the album do y'all believe was better? Me personally, again, I think the second half of the album was better, disc 39. And do you agree with me that the album has skips? And if you do think the album has skips, do you think that disqualifies it from being considered a classic amongst the masses? Of course, you're going to always have your cult classics, but do you think that takes away from it having the opportunity to be considered a classic amongst the masses? I want to close with this, though. Talking about still feeling like, though feeling like the album has skips, still feeling like Cole put together a good body of work with the songs that he put out there. I want to highlight what I believe to be, and maybe this is considered to be a hot take. What's an album review without a hot take, I guess. But I don't I don't even feel like it has to be, but whatever. Let's just say it's a hot take, right? The rapping, specifically the rapping that J. Cole, Jermaine Cole, the rapping that J. Cole displayed on 39 intro, I believe it to be God level flow, the best for rapping in verse that J. Cole has ever rapped in his entire career. Yes, I feel that way. That is a song that song itself, I believe, makes up for the skips on the album. And is there anybody else out there who can share that sentiment with me? Because the rapping on 39 intro was just, like I said, picture of the dictionary, God level flow. J. Cole's like Goku reaching his final form of like rapping. I was just like taken aback. I'm talking about like when you listen to that verse and the way he's rapping on there, like once you get past the singing and the melodic beat, and then it breaks down into the next beat, and he just start going into like another unworldly planet of rapping. I'm talking about, it's like Kobe getting his 2 rings without Shaq. Kobe getting 60 in his last game. We talking Allen Iverson crossing over Jordan, then stepping over Tyronn Lue. That's how that verse make you feel. That's how that verse like make you look when you, like the look on your face you get when you hearing it. We talking Dame game 1 over Paul George. You feel me? We talking Tom Brady comeback versus the Atlanta Falcons, and then getting his ring versus the Bucks. That is where I believe J. Cole actually went with that verse. We talking Giannis 50 in a closeout game of the finals. We talking Jordan shrug with the 6 threes versus Portland. We talking Jordan crossover over Russell in the finals. Like that's what we talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of flow from J. Cole. And then Jordan went to North Carolina. We talking Jordan game winner in the NCAA championship with the level of rapping J. Cole was putting on display. Do you hear me? I'm talking about Asia game winner in Phoenix in the finals. Like that look Asia had on her face, like that's the type of, that's how I felt when I was listening to that J. Cole verse. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt. You feel me? He can go on and on. Bron 25 straight points in '07 versus the Pistons. Better yet, Bron block on equal dollar, and then Kyrie's 3 over Steph. That's what that verse was. You hit Cleveland, this is for you. Fayetteville, this is for you. That's, yeah, man. Like that's just like that's what that verse was, man. That's why I deem it to be J. Cole's best verse of his career. And I don't, like, you may find some verses out there that could rival it, but I think that verse right there specifically, that style of rapping, yeah, man. Like, it's, that's how I feel about that verse, man. Is there anybody out there who shares that sentiment? And is there anybody out there who think I'm crazy for even putting that as one of his best verses of all time? I don't really think it's close. Give me that verse any day of the week as J. Cole's best verse of his career thus far until he drops another album. But nah, man. That's my overall take of the album. Yeah, like I say, I just had to make sure I got this out on this episode, considering the technical difficulties we had at the end. But nonetheless, let me know what y'all think in the comments about the J. Cole project. As we like to say, the doors of the pod are open. And if you're somebody out there looking for a pod home, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, and that'll lock you in with us for life. And if you hit the subscribe button and you're like, man, I really would like to do more, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you hit the like button after you hit the subscribe button and you just like, what more can I do to feel a part of this podcast? What more can I do to support these brothers? Share this episode, or go share a clip. And you could tell a friend to tell a friend to tell that friend that we'll be back here next week to do this all again. Love you, beautiful people. As always, sincerely, please never let it fall on deaf ears. We do not take y'all taking out the time to listen to our podcast and rock out with us and subscribe and like and share. We do not take that for granted. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be back next week with another great episode for y'all. This is the Respect the Game podcast.